One sentence uttered by Justin Bieber today has shaken the foundation of the global entertainment world. If he ever wants a new home, he's more than welcome. This statement, directed at Kim Taehyung, one of the most prominent members of BTS, immediately sparked wild speculation. Is this a sign that Taehyung is going to leave BTS? And more importantly, why does HYBE, the giant agency behind BTS's success, seem unsettled by such an explicit signal from one of the world's top superstars? The world is holding its breath, and ARMY is asking, what is really going on? No one expected that Justin Bieber, an international figure with a long history with the K-pop industry through major affiliate labels, would make a statement that implicitly challenges HYBE's authority. While the public is currently busy questioning BTS's future amid military service and hiatus, a statement like this feels like an explosion that hits the narrative of stability the agency has long tried to uphold. Why Taehyung's name? Why not another member? And why did this sentence appear at such a crucial moment, when the spotlight on BTS's internal dynamics is at its peak? This is not merely an expression of admiration between artists across borders. This is a measured strategic message. And in fact, HYBE is starting to look nervous. Some industry observers believe that this open signal from Justin Bieber is not an empty statement. Amid the entertainment industry's transition toward greater independence, that sentence could be the gateway to a new collaboration completely outside the agency's control. Moreover, Taehyung is known as one of the BTS members most active in showing his preferences for art, fashion, and music that transcend the conventional boundaries of K-pop. If Justin Bieber is indeed offering a new home, whether musically or professionally, does that mean he realizes Taehyung is no longer comfortable within his old system? Tension is starting to show in the gestures and communication strategies HYBE has taken in recent days. There is no firm denial of this issue, but the carefully maintained silence instead strengthens speculation. The public suspects that HYBE is facing an internal dilemma. Denying it may worsen the situation, but staying silent could open the door to a permanent departure. This situation places Taehyung in a very strategic, yet risky position. If he remains silent, the public will interpret it as agreement. If he speaks out, the pressure will double from both fans and the agency. Justin Bieber himself is no ordinary figure in the global music industry. With enormous influence and a network that transcends label boundaries, he has the power to absorb artists from any genre into his orbit. His statement about Taehyung not only indicates a personal desire, but also opens the possibility of professional collaboration that could lead to the reconstruction of a K-pop idol's career into that of an independent global artist. And this, indirectly, is a direct threat to HYBE's dominance. Fan reactions are divided. Some feel touched by Bieber's attention to Taehyung, but others are beginning to question whether this is really all about friendship. Or is there a hidden agenda being played by outside forces to disrupt BTS's internal stability? In this context, HYBE is not only facing an issue with Taehyung personally, but also the credibility of their control structure over their top artists. Taehyung himself is known as an unpredictable figure, but one with an extraordinarily strong appeal. He has a unique ability to balance global image with personal intimacy toward fans. But because of this strength, he becomes a figure vulnerable to being exploited in the global music industry's political interests. Is Justin Bieber truly sincere, or is this part of a grand effort to pull major K-pop names out of their system? Meanwhile, some fans are starting to draw a connection between Bieber's statement and a series of Taehyung's absences from promotional activities or certain recent moments. Especially when other BTS members are seen more often together in internal projects, while Taehyung is moving more independently, frequently seen in Paris, appearing at fashion events, and building very personal relationships with foreign artists. If there is indeed a growing distance between Taehyung and his agency, then Justin Bieber's statement seems to act as a magnifying glass exposing that fracture to the world. The fundamental question now is Taehyung seeking freedom? Or is he being slowly pushed out of a system that can no longer accommodate his aspirations? This is where the most dramatic tension of the narrative lies. HYBE is trying to maintain its influence, while the outside world, including big names like Bieber, is showing they are ready to offer a new stage. This isn't just artist drama. This is a test of power structures in the global entertainment industry. In such a situation, HYBE doesn't have many options. They could try to regain control through persuasive approaches or show their tougher side that's long been hidden. But both carry major risks. If they're too soft, they'll look weak. If too harsh, they could lose public sympathy, and worse, lose Taehyung. Will Justin Bieber's statement become a turning point in Taehyung's solo journey? Or will it ignite a split that's long been whispered behind the scenes? One thing is certain. The world is now watching every step taken by the three main actors, Taehyung, HYBE, and Justin Bieber. And for the first time in BTS's history, the public is openly questioning HYBE's absolute power in retaining its main artists. Because if someone like Taehyung, with global power and massive fanbase support, ultimately decides to walk alone and is supported by a name as big as Justin Bieber, then the agency's dominance could collapse in an instant. But is all this merely a global marketing strategy? Or a true reflection of an artist's dissatisfaction with the system that raised him? That answer has yet to come, but the effects are already being felt. Tension is rising. Attention is focused. And HYBE? They are no longer in a comfortable position. Now, what remains is time and Taehyung's final decision. Will he stay or choose a new path that may have already been opened by someone completely unrelated to the K-pop system? If Justin Bieber is truly ready to welcome him, is the world ready to see how Taehyung conquers the global stage as himself, without the BTS label? Or is this merely a fleeting controversy destined to fade away? Those questions remain unanswered. But one thing is sure, the game has begun, and HYBE is in their weakest position yet. However, amid the public euphoria over the likely migration of Kim Taehyung's career outside BTS's structure, a far more substantial question arises that must be answered collectively. Are we truly witnessing a real event, or are we merely trapped in a narrative strategically crafted to create sensation? Justin Bieber's statement about being ready to welcome Taehyung after a possible departure from BTS certainly sounds like a resounding open declaration. Yet a smart public must not stop at emotional reaction. Is Bieber genuinely sincere, or is this part of a global music industry maneuver to attract the highly profitable Asian market? Was the statement truly intended to open new doors for Taehyung? Or was it a communication strategy designed to go viral purely for branding purposes? In today's digital era, where a single sentence can be twisted into thousands of interpretations across platforms, it's very likely that what sounds big on the surface is merely a fragment of a far more complex agenda. The fact that this issue spread so rapidly on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other often unverified digital media must be a loud alarm for all of us. Are we witnessing a shift in reality, or are we simply being conditioned to believe what they want us to believe? Moreover, as HYBE appears to avoid confirming or even openly responding to this issue, questions arise. Are they truly in panic, as many believe? Or are they letting the issue spread wildly to gauge public reaction? What if all of this is part of a long-term plan designed to assess Taehyung's market value as a soloist outside BTS's umbrella? When a big name like Justin Bieber is used in such a narrative, it's hard not to associate it with a strategy for global market expansion. And the next question is, does Taehyung realize he may be becoming a symbol, a tool, or even a pawn in a power game larger than just music and fandom? To this moment, there is no concrete evidence that Taehyung has officially expressed interest in moving to another management, let alone accepting an offer from Bieber. But the fact that this information spreads so quickly shows one thing: the public is waiting for a big moment. So, are media and content creators exploiting that hunger for surprise to create illusions that appear like truth? Looking deeper, there's no shortage of viral content on various platforms pushing this narrative with a manipulative slant. Old video clips, facial expressions taken out of context, and captions lacking any factual basis are often used to conclude that Taehyung is no longer happy with BTS and that Bieber is truly waiting to rescue him. But can such conclusions be justified journalistically? Skepticism in responding to such information is essential. Could it really be that someone like Taehyung, with all his emotional and professional complexity, would make a monumental decision solely based on the support of one outsider artist? Or is the public simply being played by algorithms and information systems designed to create dramatic narratives to drive engagement and views? We need to ask, where did this information come from? Who first spread it? Do they have authority, credibility, and journalistic integrity? Or are they just content producers racing for sensation to grab attention? In a situation like this, the role of media as truth keepers is being tested. And as the audience, we must not be passive consumers. If Justin Bieber is truly sincere in supporting Taehyung, then that should be proven with real action and open dialogue, not just an ambiguous sentence thrown into the public sphere without context. But if this is all part of a global narrative game, it's dangerous for the public to continue blindly consuming unverified information. We must ask the hard questions. Who benefits from spreading this issue? Is it Taehyung, HYBE, or is it the digital media creators gaining massive traffic from never-ending debate? Why is there no direct clarification from the involved parties, and why is this narrative being allowed to grow unchecked? More than that, we need to reflect. Is this the new way the entertainment industry treats artists and fans? Turning people into symbols of conflict and fans into amplification tools for specific interests? Are we aware that our emotional involvement is being monetized by an ecosystem that no longer prioritizes truth? It is crucial for all of us, especially the ARMY community, not to get caught in baseless euphoria. A decision like leaving a group as big as BTS isn't made in silence and certainly can't be mediated by a single offer from an outside artist. So the real question is, why does this issue feel so believable to us? Is it because we've seen the signs for a long time? Or because we've been conditioned to believe that internal conflict is inevitable? That's where media literacy and critical thinking matter. We must be able to distinguish between fact, opinion, and interpretation wrapped in clickbait narratives. We must realize that not everything that appears dramatic is truly dramatic. And not everything spoken by major figures is spoken with noble intent. Bieber's statement, even if true, cannot be used as a basis to judge HYBE or conclude Taehyung's current condition. Likewise, HYBE's silence does not automatically indicate weakness or panic. Silence might be a strategy. It might also be a form of resistance to an uncontrollable information game. As audiences, we have the right to know. But more than that, we have the duty to discern. Does this information help us better understand the situation? Or does it take us further from the truth? Do you really believe Justin Bieber is genuinely preparing to welcome Taehyung? Or are you starting to suspect this is a systematically constructed narrative designed to create shock value? Do you see this as a moment of artistic liberation from a binding structure, or just part of a grand performance controlled by forces we don't even know? And finally, how much are you willing to hand over your perception to unverified information, simply because it's emotionally packaged and compelling? We invite you to answer all these questions, not with emotion, but with common sense. Because in a world full of narrative and fabrication, critical thinking is the only way to stay on the path of truth. Don't let emotion overtake verification. Don't let opinion replace fact. The world is watching. And you, as part of the global public, have a responsibility not to become the next victim of an industry that sells illusion as reality. Tanya ChatGPT.